Welcome to another meeting of the Retiring Club. My name is John, and I will be your host for this meeting. In this meeting of the Retiring Club, we're going to take a look at a investment that I picked out about a year ago, and we're going to go over it. I'm going to tell you why and how I funded it, why I picked it out, and look at the gains, and so that you can get a better understanding of how the investments grow over a period of time. So my name is John, and you're with me at the Retiring Club. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my presentation. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so this is the investment fidelity select financials portfolio. Most of you by now know that I worked at Morgan Stanley. I originally started with E-Trade, and then we got bought out by Morgan Stanley. But while I was employed there and we were going 100% over to Morgan Stanley, the intranet website would have Morgan Stanley stock price. And I remember at least twice that the stock was down to $75 a share. It's up to 150 now. Um, so that's part of the reason why they always want you to not have any outside investment accounts so that you can go in and start buying shares. They want to police and monitor you, and that's typical with the financial services. It's part of their legal and compliance um, type of agreement, and if you don't abide by it, um, there can be some penalties. In my case, I wasn't getting rid of my Fidelity account nor my Charles Schwab. I was like, you know what? I've been on down here from Detroit for 20 years. I've been here long enough. To me, it was a tap on the shoulder. So I just left and now I'm retired. But financial services I felt was going to be a good opportunity because I was working there, they were talking about and looking at crypto as a financial product. It was starting to be talked about in Congress, and it was just another product for them to sell and things like that. Um, so I decided to make this purchase. Now I did take a look at two or three other ones, and one of them had actually went up about $10 a share, has done quite well. I wasn't familiar with it, so I wound up with this investment, but I could have had a lot more money had I took more risks and went to the Hennessy uh, Financial Services mutual fund, and it was trading at about 12 something dollars. It's probably over 15. I'll check it later on. But anyway, so what I did was I had eyeballed this, and on February 10th, I made a purchase of the $2,000, and this was after tax money. This $2,000 of the cost basis represented the year-end bonus that I got from Morgan Stanley, and there was $2,000 left. So I put it in a Roth for long-term growth, and I had been putting $500 away every month into VO Bank. So I would put $5,000 in the VO Bank, and the 401k I was at 15%, and I had been doing that for a while um, with the VO Bank. But normally I would only put in 10 months worth. In the last 2 months, I would put it in the E-Trade Roths. So what I decided to do, I said, well, John, why wait to the end of the year to fund this Roth account? Put that money in there now and let it ride for the whole year. So what I did was on February 13th, you could see that there was another $500 purchase, and I picked up 31 shares, and it's now showing this is as of Friday morning. Now, this is a very cyclical type of investment. The market goes down 1.5%, so will this investment. I noticed that. Um, and then in April 8th, what I did was I held off on the money and I waited, and then I bought $502. There was a couple bucks left in there, and I got it at $12.89. And you can see now that lot of shares, I got 38 shares, and that's showing a 22% gain. Now, over here in April, 3 days after I got in this investment, it paid a capital gain and it's showing up 63.97. So I picked up four more shares. Now, one of the things in my investment strategy is I try not to pay more than about 25, maybe $30 tops on an investment, especially if some of the ETFs over at the other investment houses, Vanguard, uh, Charles Schwab, E Trade, as well as Fidelity, have investments with the same mix, but they're trading at hundreds of dollars because by keeping it under this $25, you can see I'm picking up a number of shares. In the future, if this thing goes up from 15 to $30, I'll have more shares and then I can skim off of it. In December 26th, here's capital gains that was paid out, $170.78. That's really 171. They like to round it out. And I picked up 10 shares. So you can see how this is built up and it's showing a gain. This is from Thursday night of 11.84% since I invested. So I started with $3,002 and it has 3,358 in it now. And if we take a look here, it's showing since I got it in February 10th, and with my contributions, that I have 11.84% gain, and now it's grown to 358. Now the market is closed. It is 4:35. Within about another hour, all the trading should settle on the mutual funds, and I'm willing to bet that this it's FIDFX, I think is what that is. But anyway, this financial portfolio will be down for the day, but it has been up as high as 17%, and it has been as low as a negative 10% during April of last year. And over here, you can see the highs. So this is how your investments will accumulate. Now, if you've been following me, what I have been doing to get myself into retirement is in the traditional IRA. These gains that would normally go back in and buy additional shares, I turned that off in some of the other investments to generate uh, $14,838 to fund my retirement. And that covers 9 months of my budget. But this is how your investments are going to grow. And I put it in here. I can keep an eye on it for a couple years, see what happens, and we can make a decision after that if it's worth it. There may be some other investments that come out that I may say, well, this little 11% that it's showing here, I think it did 15.83 for the year, and I can decide to move it. But this is how this investment turned out. I started with 3 grand, and I ended up with a gain of $358 after the initial $3,002. So I just wanted to come on and show you how the investments work and how your investments will accumulate over the years. So this is in a Roth, and we won't be doing anything with it at all. So my name is John, and you're with me at the Retiring Club. This ends the meeting for today.